Hi, in this video I discuss the approach to the reading passages which are tested in the civil services preliminary exam. So my primary focus is on the approach to reading passages. I believe that if you learn the approach, then you can solve any number of reading passages by applying this approach. First, let us see the approach. Then let us apply that approach to some reading passage questions. Keep watching. Here you have a reading. Here you have a reading passage question. This question was asked in the Civil Services Preliminary Exam in the year 2022. You may pause the video, solve this question and continue to watch. Do it in your own way, then compare your approach with mine. I have said, first I will explain the approach. If you observe this question, you see that it has three parts. The first part is the passage, the second, the question stem, and the third, four answer choices. The second part is called the question stem. I advise you to read the question stem first. It says, which one of the following is the most logical and rational inference that can be made from the above passage? Here the word inference in the question stem is highlighted. I mean, it is an inference question type. Before you read the passage, you must know the type of the question you are solving. We look for some specific details in the passage depending on the question type. That is why you must read the question stem first. And the following are some common question types tested in the Civil Services GS paper 2. Okay, I mean prelims. One, the inference or implication must be true or must be correct question type. Here, whether it is an inference question or implication, must be true or must be correct, all refer to the same thing, and the same approach works for all of these. Second, assumption questions. You have maximum number of questions usually from assumptions. Of course, sometimes you could have more questions from inference also. Third, the author's message. I mean, what is the message of the author? Fourth, what is the main idea or what is the central or crux of the passage? The central idea or crux of the passage. Fifth, the keywords or the key idea questions. We will discuss all these question types one by one. Sixth one, underlying tone of the passage. 7, support or strengthen the passage. I mean, one of the options supports or strengthens the passage, the given passage. And finally, you have undermine or weaken the passage. And that means one of the options weakens the passage. So in this lesson, you will learn the approach or the strategy for inference question type. Now let us work on the inference topic. I divide the inference topic into 6 subtopics. 1, the meaning of an inference. 2, who makes an inference. 3, characteristics of an inference. 4, analysis of the passage or analyze the passage. 5, elimination techniques, means how to eliminate some of the options. And finally, how to choose the best option. Now let us Now let me explain these topics one by one. So first, the meaning of an inference. Please note, you must know the meaning of every question type so that you may not fall into the traps set in the answer choices. You must know the meaning of an inference, the meaning of an assumption, the meaning of main idea, and so on. Here I have defined the meaning. The inference is an informed conclusion supported by the facts or evidence in the passage. It means the inference is fully supported by the passage. In other words, the information given in the passage supports every piece of information given in the best option, that is the inference. When working on the inference question, you should look for the relevant information in the passage. Note that not every sentence or not every piece of information given in the passage is relevant to drawing an inference. Second, who makes an inference? Here, the person who receives or reads the information makes the inference or the conclusion. It means if I receive the information or if I read the passage, then I make the inference. Here you have one more point under who makes an inference. This person who receives the information cannot add any new information to the given information. This is very important. Maybe I am a knowledgeable person. I have a lot of information in my mind, my own information, common sense. But I can't add that information. I can't use that information to draw an inference. I must confine myself to the given information, the information I receive. Now look at the third point, characteristics of an inference. The inference is a different version of the given information. What does a different version mean? It means the information given in the passage is present in the best option in a different way. Okay. Here you have an example. This beauty parlor is only for ladies. So I receive this information. What inference can I make by using this information? I infer that this parlor is not for men, or men are not allowed for any services here. Here, the word only helps me make this inference. The information that only for ladies can be restated as not for men. So this is a different version of only for ladies. So an inference is a restatement or saying the same thing in a different way. This is how an inference is a different version of the given information in the passage. Now let us look at the next point, that is analysis of the passage. First, note all the information, keywords or facts given in the passage. Students usually read the passage again and again to understand it. Reading the passage doesn't help you solve the question. No matter how many times you read a passage, maybe you read it 3 times, 4 times, and you think reading it again and again helps you understand the passage better. No, that's a wrong concept, wrong perception. Instead of reading the passage again and again, you must analyze the information to extract, to segregate the relevant information so that you could make the inference. So once you note all the keywords or information, key information or the facts, next thing is what? Next you have to divide the facts into general and crucial information. So the passage has some general information which may not be sufficient to draw an inference. Only the crucial information such as modifiers would help us make an inference. What are modifiers? Modifiers include adjectives and adverbs. Primarily, adjectives and adverbs are the modifiers. They are the defining words or descriptions to describe things. These adjectives and adverbs or defining words help us grasp the essence of the passage, the main idea of the passage or the crux. This is how, with the help of the modifiers, you identify the relevant information for the inference. This relevant information or modifiers give you insight into the hidden information or the indirect information. What is an inference? There is something indirectly said in the passage. Something is hidden and you have to bring it out. You have to reveal it. That is how you make an inference. So in this context, both logic and grammar seem to play a vital role. Okay, knowledge of modifiers such as adjectives, adverbs, descriptive phrases, defining words, they come under grammar. Some knowledge of grammar is definitely essential to understand the passage better. And some logical thinking, the way we divide the content into the information into general information, crucial information. This is also important. Now let us use this example. This parlor is for ladies. So this information or this sentence has 3 keywords. 1, beauty parlor. 2, ladies. 3, only. The words parlor and ladies come under the general information. Just with the knowledge of this parlor is for ladies, I can't make any inference. But the modifier only is crucial for me. Without the word only, I may not be able to make an inference. The presence of the modifier only helps me conclude that men are not allowed. The modifier only, the word only or the modifier only indirectly says that the parlor is not for men. So that is the hidden information, that the parlor is not for men. So while analyzing the passage, you note all the information or keywords given in the passage. Second, you divide the facts or the keywords into general keywords or general information and crucial information. Third, you should look for links. Yes. The third rule is look for the links, right? So look for the links among the facts. That means there are some facts or there are some keywords which are connected. And these connected facts are crucial to draw an inference. Okay? So the way modifiers help you, adjectives, adverbs, and other descriptive phrases or descriptions, defining words, help you draw an inference. In the same way, the connected facts, if 2 keywords have a connection, then that connection or the connected keywords will help you draw a conclusion or draw an inference. Here I have given an example. Please read the example. Almost every bill introduced by the ruling party in the legislature gets an easy passage. Recently, a bill on chit funds has been introduced by the ruling party in the upper house of the legislature. Right? So here you have 2 statements. The first statement says that every bill introduced in the legislature gets an easy passage, right? So the keywords are bill, every bill, ruling party, legislature, easy passage. These are the keywords. The second statement, a bill on chit funds, so it has a new keyword, that is chit funds, has been introduced by the ruling party, but this ruling party is present in both the statements. That means this keyword or this fact is a connection between the first statement and the second statement, right? Now you observe the first statement is talking about an easy passage. The second statement is talking about chit funds. So these are like some unique keywords which are present only in one of the statements, but not both, right? So this is unique to statement 1. It is present only in the first statement, and bill of chit funds is present in, this is also another unique keyword. So this unique keyword is present only in the second statement. But the ruling party is a connection, it's a bridge between the two unique facts, right? That means the inference is about a new bill, that is a bill on chit funds, right? So look at the inference. The bill on chit funds is likely to undergo an easy passage. Clear? So when two statements have a connection, when two facts are connected, then there is a common fact, there is a common keyword between the two statements. And there is a unique keyword in the statement 1, and there is a unique keyword in the statement 2. And these, then we can make an inference about these unique keywords because they are connected, right? Now, fifth point, the sub point here is use elimination techniques with the options. It's very important, right? For every inference question, you can apply elimination techniques, right? I have given 4 elimination techniques, right? By using these techniques, you can eliminate at least 2 options out of 4. That means 50% of the job is done. Now you will be left with two more options. And your choice technique that I'm going to explain finally how to choose the best option. The choice technique will help you choose the best one of the remaining 2, right? Now first let us look at the elimination technique, right? When I say elimination technique, I mean you can eliminate an option if it contains new facts or new information. For example, in our previous example, you have ruling party, you have bill on chit fund, okay, upper house or legislature. These are the keywords, right? Can I make an inference about the president, that the president might deny or might reject the bill? We can't. Okay, maybe your common sense says the president's assent or agreement is needed for a bill to pass, but don't use your common sense when making an inference. Okay, you have to use only the given information. Okay, so if an option is talking about the president, definitely I will eliminate it because this option has a new fact which is not present in the information in the passage at all. Second, which contains extreme words. Okay, what are these extreme words? Can you think of some extreme words? Extreme words are like always. Okay, never choose options having always, never, impossible, definitely, surely. Okay, these are called extreme words. Usually options having extreme words are wrong, usually, not always. Okay, usually these extreme words are not supported by the passage. If the passage has the information, if the information in the passage supports these extreme words, then you could consider such options. Otherwise don't consider the options which have extreme words. Third, which is true in the real world but not supported by the passage. Yeah, so you know the Constitution of India, maybe you know how the bill undergoes the passage, or how the bill is passed in the lower house and the upper house of the legislature, and finally how the president or the governor at the state level, right, assents the bill, agrees, gives his agreement to the bill. This is common sense, right? So don't use common sense when making an inference. Okay, and finally, if an option contradicts the given information in the passage, so you have some facts in the passage, you have some information in the passage, there could be an option which goes against that, right? It's common. I will show you questions which contradict the information. Such options must be outright eliminated. Okay, and finally, choose the best option, right? So by using these elimination techniques, very often you eliminate two options and you are stuck between two options, and you need to choose one between the remaining two. For that, you have a choice technique how to choose the best option. So here I say the best option is just the restatement or the summary of the given information. So when you read the given information in the passage, and when you read the best option, you feel that this is what the passage is about. This option is just the summary. This is just a restatement. He's saying the same thing in a different way. That is the inference. And the second one, he says the best option has most of the keywords or the facts we see in the passage, right? If you go back to this, look at the keyword, the best option, I mean the inference. The bill of cheat funds, it is there in the passage. Okay, is likely to undergo. See, likely, this is not extreme word, right? This is a moderate word. Okay, usually inference options have moderate tone. Okay, they don't have extreme tone. So is likely to undergo easy passage. Look at this easy passage, the keywords. Okay, the keywords are present. Sometimes you might not find the keywords directly in the best option. Maybe you have the synonyms, right? Sometimes you can have the synonyms. This is what I said. Very often the synonyms of such keywords or facts could be seen in the best option. So now you know. Okay, what do you know? You know the meaning of an inference. You know who makes an inference? The person who has the information. And what is the meaning? It is an informed conclusion. So you have information in the passage, you use the information and make the conclusion. And as a reader, you have no right to add or to use your information or the common sense or your knowledge, right? And what is the characteristics of an inference? It's just the restatement. It's a different version, saying the same thing in a different way. It's just like a summary of the passage or the information given in the passage, right? And analyze the passage. How do you analyze the passage? Analysis of the passage. You identify the keywords and you divide the keywords into general keywords and those crucial ones, modifiers, right? And you also look for connection among the keywords. Look for connection between keywords. If two keywords are connected, then by using the connection we can draw a conclusion. And we use elimination techniques with the options. Okay, if an option has a new information, new fact, you eliminate it. If it has extreme words such as always, never, impossible, okay, definitely, surely, right? Such options, such keywords, unless supported by the passage, the information in the passage, should be eliminated. If they are not supported, we eliminate extreme options, right? And sometimes what happens? You have an option which is true as per the common sense, because You read a lot. You have a lot of knowledge. You're a knowledgeable person. And very often that's the problem. Okay? You are likely to use the knowledge that you have in your mind to make an inference. Please, please, don't use your knowledge, your common sense to make inference. Okay? Just use the information given in the passage. Right? And finally, what? There could be an option which goes against the given facts. It is going against, it is just contradictory to what is said in the passage. We will admit it. And finally, how do we choose the best option? We choose the best option by using the definition. Yeah, it is supported by the information. That means every keyword in the best option is supported by the passage. Every word, okay, is supported. Note this point. By the given information. Even if a single word is not supported by the passage, by the information in the passage, I admit it. And the best option is just like a summary. Hey, this is what the passage is trying to say. Okay, the gist of the passage, the essence of the passage is same as it is in this option. So that is how you choose the best option. Okay, now what do we do? Now this question was asked in Civil Services Preliminary Exam 2022. So first, what do? We read the question stem. Which of the following is the most logical and rational inference? Okay, inference. So information, keywords. Okay, one of the biggest ironies around water is that it comes from rivers and other wetlands. Okay, now the question here is, what are the general keywords? Okay, what are the general keywords are? Here is talking about water, wetlands, rivers. But what about this biggest ironies? Oh, is some description, something unique, right? Biggest ironies. This helps me understand the inference. So what's the meaning of irony? Irony means contradiction, contrary to what is expected. Okay, the result is just opposite to what is expected. That is irony. Okay, his security men shot him dead. His security men shot him dead. His security means they have to provide him security, but they killed him. That is an irony. So water comes from rivers and other wetlands. Okay, water comes from wetlands, or the water gets into the land and makes it wet. Which one is true? Water should actually get into the land and make it wet. But here that is the irony. Actually, water comes from wetland. Water comes from rivers. Yet adverb. It is seen as a divorce from them. Oh, it is seen passive voice. That means we people. Okay, or maybe the public policy makers. See them means, how do they say? They separate water from its source. Okay, while water is used as a resource, public policy does not always grasp that it is part of the natural ecosystem. Natural ecosystem means rivers and wetlands. It's the same keyword. That means here natural ecosystem or the rivers or wetlands are most important. Efforts at engineering water systems are thus efforts at augmenting water supply. So usually what is happening? Augmenting means we are supporting, we are strengthening water supply, how we can supply more water, rather than strengthening. Here, look at the word rather, look at this, rather than strengthening the capacities of ecosystems. Oh, how many times do you see this word ecosystem? Okay, natural ecosystem, wetlands, rivers. So rather than strengthening the capacities, instead of strengthening the capacity of the ecological systems from where water comes, what the public policy makers are doing, the public policy is focusing on engineering water systems. That means they are trying to increase the supply. But actually, what should we do? We should focus on the ecological systems. The ecological system means more focus should be given to rivers and wetlands. That is the inference. Right, now let us look at option A. I said we begin with elimination process. Rivers and other wetlands. Rivers and other wetlands should be protected under Ramsar Convention. My God, I don't know what is this convention as per the information. Maybe somewhere I read it in some magazine or some newspapers. So I can't use my common sense. It is gone. It is a new fact. This is a new fact. Please remember, here I have written unique information. Every option has some unique information. Look at Ramsar Convention. It is present only in option A, not in other options. So if you see a unique information, ask yourself, is this information supported by the passage? If supported, the option remains, otherwise it is eliminated. Engineering water systems should be modernized and further augmented. I see all these keywords. I see the word engineering here. I see water systems. I see modernized. Right, modernized I don't, of course. And further augmented, I see augment. Anyhow, option B I can't outright eliminate. My technique doesn't help me outright eliminate it. Okay, maybe I use my choice technique finally, right? Wetlands need to be reinforced. So wetlands are there, reinforced, yes. You need to strengthen them more than just open sources. I need to consider this. Water supply should not be free of cost. What is this cost? This has some unique information. Cost. This unique information, cost, is a new fact. It is not supported by the passage. Nowhere I see free of cost and all that. Option D. So I said by using the elimination techniques, we could eliminate just 2 options at least. Sometimes maybe you can eliminate 3, but definitely 2 options could be eliminated. Now between B and C, okay, I said to choose the best option. Okay, look for what? Look for a statement that is just the restatement, saying the same thing in a different way. So what is the inference we made? Our inference for this passage, that we should strengthen the capacities of ecological systems. When I say ecological system, what are they here? The rivers, wetlands. Why should we strengthen them? How does he say? Because water comes from here. Okay, and we people, efforts at engineering water systems are thus efforts at augmenting water supply, but our focus has been on water supply. Okay, so we need to strengthen. See, public policy does not always grasp that it is part of the natural ecosystem. What is that? What is that? It means water. Water as a resource is part of natural ecosystem. So we need to strengthen the capacities of wetlands and rivers. Now option B, it says engineering water systems should be modernized and further. This is what is happening, and that is the biggest irony. So this is gone. This is gone. The author is saying, okay, that is the biggest irony. That should not happen. Wetlands need to be reinforced as more than just open sources of water. Exactly, this is Option C is the inference. Okay. Now another passage again with reference to the passage above, which of the following statements is correct? Okay, with reference to the passage, that means there is an option which is supported by the passage. Okay, let me read the passage. If presents bring less thrill now that we are grown up, perhaps it is because we have too much already, or perhaps because we have lost the fullness of the joy of giving, right? Okay, we are grown up, so the adult people, for them presents bring less thrill, and he is giving two possible reasons, maybe this or that. Okay, maybe because we have too much already, we have already got too many presents, or there could be an alternative reason why presents bring less thrill to us, that is we have lost the fullness of the joy of giving. Okay, and with the fullness of the joy of receiving. Okay, so we don't have that fullness, that happiness, or that satisfaction of the joy of giving or the joy of receiving. That is why we get less thrill, we find less thrill in presents. This is about adults. Now you have children. Children's fears are poignant, their miseries are acute, but they do not look too forward nor too far backward. Their joys are clear and complete because they have just learned always to, they have not yet learned always to add but. Oh, to every position. What does it mean? So the children are getting more thrill. They are getting more thrill from presents. Okay, from the gifts. How and why? Because they still haven't learned to add but, exceptions. We say, I will do this, but I'll help you, but. So we are always we always have conditions, but children don't have. So we are always cautious. We means adults, anxious, skeptical. We always doubt. But children are clear. They don't have any doubts. They don't have any buts and ifs. They have no conditions. That is why they are enjoying. We are not able to enjoy for a couple of reasons. Fine. Perhaps some of our cares, means worries, would shrink, would be lessened, would reduce if we thought less about them and entered with a more single-minded enjoyment into the happiness that comes our way. All right. So it's very clear now, right? Now, option A. It is not possible for adults to feel thrilled. It is not possible. Any technique comes into your mind? Not possible, impossible, something like that. Extreme word. This is extreme. Does the passage support that it is not possible for adults to feel thrilled? No. It gives some reasons. Okay, because means giving reasons because why adults are less thrilled. Option A is gone. There can be more than one reason. There can be, likely can be, moderate language, keywords because is present. Okay. Next, I can consider this. I'm not choosing. I have to read all the options. Okay. So this word because helps us draw the conclusion. It is giving the reasons. Okay. Why we are, means adults are less thrilled. Now, option C. The author does not know why adults feel. Does the author know or does not know? Okay. Maybe you say, perhaps, everywhere I see perhaps. So now these words, perhaps, these are some modifiers, these are some adverbs. Okay, so we need to consider this perhaps, and because giving the reason, so we'll come back to option C. Adults have less capacity to feel. Is there any reference to capacity to feel the joy of living? Sorry, the joy of loving or being loved. This word capacity is a new fact. We have regions. The regions do not talk about capacity. So option D is gone. Now between B and C. Perhaps it is because. Perhaps it is because of this, or perhaps it is because of that. So what is the gist? What is the gist? Can I say the author does not know why adults feel less thrilled? When I say the author does not know, that means you're sure that he doesn't know at all. Are you sure he doesn't know? No, you don't know. Option C is gone. Now let us look at option D. There can be more than one reason why adults feel less thrilled by the presents. There can be more than one reason why adults feel less thrilled by presents. Do you see full support for option B? Yes. More than one reason. This is the unique key phrase here. More than one reason is present here because we have too much already, or means alternate. Perhaps it is because we have lost the fullness of the joy of giving, right? So option B is the right option. Every word in option B is supported by the passage. Right? Here, I want you to note one point. Look at some of the vocabulary. It's poignant, something like sharp and all that. Anything else? Skeptical. Maybe some of you don't know the meaning of such words. You find the meaning of such words hard. You don't know. You're ignorant of such, meanings. So don't worry about such vocabulary. Even if you don't know the meaning of one or two words, just ignore the meanings. Right? Use this technique. Right? You'll be able to find the best option. Now let us look at another question. This question was asked in Civil Services Preliminary Exam 2020. Again, I read the question stem first. That is my approach. Which of the following is implied? So an implication. An implication is also an inference by the passage. So I again note the keywords. The majority of people who fail to accumulate money sufficient for their needs are generally easily influenced by the opinions of others. Look at the word majority. Majority, more, most. Okay? These words suggest some numbers. Whenever you have numbers like this, make a diagram. Okay, see how I have made a diagram here. Let me explain this sentence with the help of this diagram. Do follow this approach. You will easily understand the gist, the summary of the passage. First, people who fail to accumulate money sufficient for their needs. People who fail to accumulate. First, draw a diagram for the people. This one. I said 100 people. The square, right? The square represents 100 people. And there is a circle that represents people who fail to accumulate money sufficient for their needs, right? It's not that all 100 people. Okay, the passage doesn't mean that everybody everybody fails to accumulate money. Okay, it talks about people who fail to. So people who fail to accumulate money, this circle is a subset. Is a subset of the superset, that is 100 people. So there are 100 people, but out of 100 people, you have 20 who fail to accumulate money, and out of 20, the majority are influenced by the opinions of others. So now this diagram gives a clear picture. This is called visualization of the statements. They permit, who permit? These 12 people permit the newspapers and gossiping neighbors to do their thinking for them. Okay, that means for these 12 people, newspapers and gossiping neighbors do their thinking. That means these 12 people don't think at all, right? They don't think. Okay, others think for them. Okay, fine. Opinions are the cheapest commodities on the earth. Everyone has a flock of opinions ready to be wished upon by anyone who will accept them, right? So everybody has opinions. If you are ready to accept them, he or she will give you his or her opinions. Fine. If you are influenced by opinions when you reach decisions, you will not succeed in any undertaking. Really, this reading passage has too many ideas. So what is implied here? This is a number game. Okay, this is a number game. Be careful. Be careful. Now, what are the keywords here? In the first sentence, you have people, accumulate money, right? So, and you have majority. So this majority is important for me. And as per my diagram, the majority are 12. You can give any number you want. Now they permit the newspaper. They. Oh, now see some connection. I see some connection between the first sentence and the second sentence. Okay, they means what? Again, these 12 people. The majority of people. These people permit the newspapers and the gossiping neighbors to do their thinking for them. So these two sentences or statements are connected. Now, opinions are cheapest. The story is changing here. Opinions are the cheapest commodities on the earth. Everyone has a flock of opinions ready to be wished upon by anyone who will accept them. If you are influenced by opinions when you reach decisions, you will not succeed. Oh God, you will not succeed. Right? From here, the story is changing. This story is not about these 12 people. Right? Maybe the last sentence, if you are influenced by opinions, when you reach decisions, you will not succeed. Maybe this can be connected or related to these 12 people. That means these 12 people are influenced by opinions. So maybe they will not succeed, something like that. But definitely, in between you have, right? In between you have some unnecessary information. Okay? At least I can say from here to here. This is nowhere related to the rest of the information. Okay? This is a kind of trap information. Okay, because this information doesn't help me make an inference. This is the approach. In a reading passage, not every sentence, not every piece of information is relevant, is useful to make the inference. You should be able to, you should be able to extract those keywords, extract the relevant information to make the inference. Clear? Now, let us look at options. Most of the people do not accumulate money. Do you know what the meaning of most of the people? Most of the people means it is about the 100 people. This information is about majority of people who fail to accumulate money. This information is about 12 people, but this information is about all people or most of the 100 people. Option A is eliminated. Same problem in option B. Most of the people. This passage, most of the information in the passage doesn't talk about most of the people. It talks about the majority of people who fail to accumulate money. The information is about this subset of the people, the 20 people, 30 people. Okay, we don't know exact number, but definitely this information is about the subset. It is not about the superset. And we are gone. There are people who fail to accumulate money. Are there people, as for this diagram, are there people who fail to accumulate money? Yes, there are people. I have 12 people, or it can be 13 or 14. There can be 2 also, right? If I make it just 4, something like that. Okay, so there are people, right? There are people who fail to accumulate money. Even if there are just 2 people who fail to accumulate money, my option C is fine, right? And look at the last option. There is no need to accumulate money. The passage is not about money. This is not about whether there is a need to money. I mean, the summary, the gist, or the central idea is not about whether you need to accumulate money. It's an irrelevant option. It is irrelevant. And these 2 options, A and B, I would turn them beyond the scope. Okay, beyond the scope of the information in the passage. It's beyond the scope. The information in the passage is about this subset. Hence, my option is C. Now we have one more question. It was tested in it was given in Civil Services Preliminary Exam 2020. Again, I read the question stem first. Which of the following is best implied? Again, implied, implication, inference. Again, I read the passage. In India, over the last decade or so, labor has been departing agriculture, but is only going to construction and unregistered manufacturing, which are not markedly better jobs. Okay, so the keywords are India. It is about India, and it is during the last decade, labor is departing agriculture and going where? Construction and unregistered manufacturing. which are not better jobs. They are not better jobs. The jobs in construction and unregistered manufacturing sector are not better jobs. Services, one more. Now another keyword, a new keyword is services, which labor tends to be most productive, are not generating, services are not generating additional jobs, right? No additional jobs by the jobs they continues, right? India will need future 24 million or so jobs over the next decade. The new sector, e-commerce, again another new keyword, can at best close only half of the jobs. That means just about 12 million jobs could be created by e-commerce. Still we have 12 million jobs required. Only those sectors that drive domestic demand, such as health and education, can. Okay, now another keyword is health and education can comfortably fill other half. Okay, so half of the jobs could be filled by e-commerce, the rest could be filled by health and education. Clear? Now we read the options. Strong measures need to be taken to reduce the rural to urban migration of labor. Oh, migration of labor is there. Departure, they are departing, right? But I don't see any suggestions that we need to take some measures. So this unique keyword, take strong measures. This is unique one. This is not supported by my passage. There is no information about taking strong measures. Option B, the working conditions in the construction and unregistered manufacturing needs to be improved. Working conditions. Again, this is a unique keyword. Every option has a unique keyword. Whichever unique keyword is supported by the information, we consider. But I don't see any working conditions. Yeah, there is information about construction and unregistered manufacturing, but no information is given about the working conditions. Option B is gone. Service sector has been reducing. The problem has been reducing. Service sector has been reducing the problem of unemployment. Are you sure? Where is the information that has been? Has been means already started in the past and continues at present. Here you have services are not generating the additional jobs. Service sector are not generating that India needs. Service sector has been reducing the problem. Hey, I think this is going against. This goes against the information. I told you, sometimes that you see an option which goes against the given information. Already we eliminated 3 options. Now let us see whether option D is supported. Whether we have information that supports option D. Increase social sector spending. Is there any social sector spending mentioned in the passage? We have already eliminated 3 options. Now we ask ourselves, where is social sector spending? Where is social sector? You know what's the meaning of social sector? Social sector, health and education. Health and education come under social sector. So this is like synonym. This is a synonym of health and education. Or health and education are just part of social sector. Is imperative. Is it imperative? Means compulsory. You have to do it. Because it says only those sectors that drive domestic demands, such as health and education, can comfortably fill the other half. Only this. Look at this word only. Adjectives. Only this can do. That means it is imperative. There is no other option. You have to spend on this. But for large scale job creation. option D is the best option, right? So I stop here for the day, and in future we will see some more questions. Thanks for watching this video.